Good morning. Welcome back. Got some good articles for you. So right now, guys, we're on a week-to-week basis on this investment. Okay, again, week to week. You're going to continue to see articles showing you that Iraq's economy is still frozen, that their economy is not going to really progress, take off, jump, and dance until they change the rate. That's why the budgets are frozen, the reforms are frozen, everything's at a complete standstill. Okay, now I've been showing you guys patterns on different things. There's another pattern here that they're playing with you. I'll give you an example on this. So if you go back to September, in September when they originally said, "Hey, we're withdrawing the budget because the budget has a deficit too high." Okay, and then just a couple weeks later, they came back saying, "Oh, we've got the deficit in the budget now down from 45 down to 20%." Now there's a pattern that you're seeing, like just all of last week. They came out saying, or kind of really for the last 2 weeks, they've been telling you that they're going to have to reduce the exchange rate and kind of devalue the currency. Okay, but I've got an article this morning, guys, that already counters that and tells you that it's an official document from the CBI that actually says they're not going to reduce the exchange rate of the physical currency. Okay, so and then they were also telling you that their reserves were getting low. Well, again, I have an official article from the CBI as of this morning that says their reserves are not low. Okay, so what they're doing, guys, is it's scripted news right now. They're just pumping BS at you left and right. One week they put a bunch of BS out there. Then the following week they turn around and counter it to prove it's not true and accurate. It's a game they keep playing. They're just killing time. But when you look at the bigger picture, their economy is frozen right now. They're not moving. The money's not moving yet. Everything's frozen. Regarding the reforms, the budgets, everything is frozen. It's at a standstill. That's good, guys, and that's exactly what we want to see in this. All right, let's get going into these articles. Okay, first article here for you. Parliamentary finance. The borrowing law secures salaries for the remaining months of the year. See, they're still talking about borrowing, but notice how they haven't really officially borrowed internally yet. Remember, they actually told us, guys, they don't have to borrow internally, so this article's got some BS in it. They said they didn't have to borrow internally because oil at $40 a barrel covers their salaries. They told us that. Okay, so the Parliamentary Finance Committee confirmed that the government requested the House of Representatives to finance the deficit that reached 41 trillion dinar, indicating that the borrowing law will secure salaries for the remaining months of the current year. Committee reporter told the Iraqi news agency, seen by Another News, that the government has sent the law on financing the fiscal deficit as a project to the House of Representatives, and it has been transferred to the Finance Committee, and we are awaiting the first and second reading. Right there, guys. They're saying they're waiting the first and second reading on the borrowing law, okay? So they do have more than one reading on laws, and then vote on it. So they're still showing you laws today do require 3 readings. Like the 2020 budget, which is a mini budget because it includes current and investment spending, he pointed out that there are about 38 items for current spending, including salaries, retirement, social welfare, medicine, ration card debts, benefits, oil licenses, and many items that fall within the budget, in addition to an investment budget that includes 72 items for stalled projects that have achieved a high rate of achievement. The law is a mini budget in which the government requested funding for the deficit that reached 41 trillion dinar, meaning that there is a monthly deficit for more than 10 trillion. Al-Safar said the approval of this law will secure the government budget for the remaining months of the current year, and it will secure salaries and all other expenses included in the draft law. So, guys, I just want to bring another thing to your attention that you have to look at. Again, I keep telling you, everything's frozen until they release money from somewhere. Right here, they're showing you. This article said they either have to do a borrowing law or they have to do a 2020 budget, guys. Until they open the path and start moving the money, they got to open that door and start moving the money. Until they do that, their economy's frozen. Okay, that's good. That's exactly what we want to see. Okay? That means we're still in our window of opportunity for this. Okay? So we're in a great position right now. It's our position in this is week to week. So it says report warns possible collapse in the value of the Iraqi dinar, guys. This is a BS article. Okay. According to this article, it says an Iraqi government white paper has warned of possible collapse of the value of the Iraqi dinar. According to Farad Aladdin, writing for Rudah, that recently approved white papers on page 37 to the danger of using the central bank CBI source financing, saying that the authors believe it will lend to severe pressure on the CBI's reserves. So they're saying they're going to have too much borrowing and lending within the country, and it's going to impact the CBI's reserves. Guys, this is a BS article. Let's look at the next article. It's going to call BS on this. This is a great piece of information, guys, that I have right here. This article is directly from the CBI, from the official CBI site. The Central Bank of Iraq confirms that the statements that have spread recently regarding reducing the exchange rate of the dinar against the dollar represented the viewpoint of those who stated it and do not represent the official position of the central bank. And this was accompanied by a number of rumors launched by speculators. So they're telling you right there that all those articles you saw over the last few weeks talking about reducing the exchange rate of the dinar is all rumors, okay, launched by speculators, which affected the price temporarily. The bank declares that the exchange rate is fixed and unchanged. So right there they're telling you the exchange rate is unchanged, and that its monetary policy is clear and transparent. Note that its foreign currency reserves are very good according to all international indicators. So they're telling you right there, guys, officially from the CBI, that Iraq's reserves are in very good shape and look very good, and that all the articles you saw talking about reducing the dinar exchange rate is all BS, okay? So that's great information. That's what we want to see. But the pattern I'm trying to show you here is 1 week they'll come out telling you one thing, and then a week or two later they give you another article. They give you another article where they actually counter that and offset it, okay? So that's a pattern that kind of reinforces like what Kuwait and China did, where Kuwait and China actually came out saying that it was a disinformation campaign that they put out right before they changed the rate, okay? So right here, the reform paper will raise the level of production and reduce compensation or consumption rates, okay? Minister of Finance Ali Alawi said on Sunday, October 18th, the reform paper identified it with a scientific and objective vision. The economic and financial problems that have accumulated over decades in the country. Alawi said in a statement received by the Obelisk that the reform paper identified with a scientific and objective vision the economic and financial problems that have accumulated over decades and which were not the product of the current stage due to wrong policies that were tired in the past. He added that these problems and cracks are a real challenge that can be overcome and surpassed by the method of strategic planning based on objective analysis of the reality of extracting strategic goals as urgent priorities to address these problems. And he indicated that the reform paper boldly identified the most important productive economic and financial sectors, expanding the field of investment and upgrading the private sector in the short term to advance them quickly in support of improving income and creating decent job opportunities which would reduce unemployment and poverty rates in society. He stressed it will also work to activate official institutions and civil society organizations to support the will of production, raise the level of productivity on which it relies heavily, and reduce consumption rates. Minister of Finance Alawi confirmed on Saturday the 17th that there is a growing political will to carry out fundamental reforms required for the country to address the massive liquidity crisis that has pushed Iraq to the brink of collapse. Alawi said that there will be more now than it was 5 months ago. I think there is a recognition that unless oil prices rise miraculously, this is something we have to deal with and manage, according to the Associated Press. He added that the reform paper is designed to create a strategic political framework for a new Iraqi economy. At the end of this period of change and reform, we are supposed to have a restructured and more dynamic economy. This is the aim of it. The lack of support from major political elites was undermined. Similar efforts in the past. Al-Kazemi's government continues to rely on parliamentary approval for the vision to gain momentum. Alawi said that at a later time, aspects of the plan outlined in the paper will be incorporated into the 21 budget, which will require a vote in Parliament. There you go. They have to vote. There's a key point here, guys. They just told you right here that the reforms, it says a plan outlined in the paper, guys, represents the reforms, is incorporated into the 21 budget, which will be voted on by Parliament. So, guys, same with the 2020 budget, okay? The reforms basically are inside the 20 budget, guys, because they simply require funding. So they're inside the 2020 budget, and it has to be voted on by Parliament, okay? So the lack of support, or hold on, Alawi said at a later time aspects planned outline in the paper will be incorporated into the 21 budget, which will require a vote in Parliament, and government support in the electricity and oil sectors will face special scrutiny. It is noteworthy that Kademi announced last June that his government, as preparing a white paper, includes expected financial reforms. So that's right there, guys. Their financial reforms are just kind of more proof. It's linked in everything to the rate change, kind of tied and married to the rate change. Central bank, the dollar's exchange rate is fixed and our foreign currency reserves are good. So right here, guys, they're telling you that the reserves are in good health and good check. Central bank confirmed on Sunday that the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar is fixed and has not changed, indicating its foreign currency reserves are very good and enable it to overcome the current crisis that the country is going through. The bank said in a statement, and guys, I want to show you one thing right there again, because they said their reserves are good. That means that they're not borrowing against their reserves, because that's theoretically what they would borrow against are the reserves. Okay? That means they're not borrowing money internally for salaries and stuff, okay? Not external borrowing. That means they're not doing internal borrowing. The bank said in a statement received by the Oblesik that the statements that have spread recently regarding the reduction of the Iraq dinar exchange rate against the dollar represented by a viewpoint who stated did not represent the official position of the central bank. This was accompanied by a number of rumors launched by speculators which temporarily affect the price. He added that the exchange rate is fixed and has not changed, and that the monetary policy is clear and transparent, noting that its foreign currency reserves are very good according to all international indicators and in a way that enables it to overcome the current crisis that the country is going through. The central bank called on the media exclusively to approve the CBE sources in this regard. Al-Kademi begins his European tour, removing Iraq from the list of risks and developing banking and financial investment relations. So, guys, I'm not going to read that whole article, but you guys already know that from our amazing banking contact in our group, we found out that that Iraq was removed from the U.S. OFAC high-risk list as of August 8th before they came to Washington on August 20th. And so now Iraq has been basically released from the European high-risk list of Europe. And notice how they're now traveling. Notice how Kademi's now traveling to Europe, guys. He's probably going to put some more international agreements together while he's there. Okay? So, but guys, I want to just kind of reinstate one key thing with you in this. Notice how they're kind of at a fork in the road. They either have to go with the 2020 budget or the borrowing law. We don't care. We don't care which route they go. That doesn't matter to us. All right? But somehow they have to open that financial door is what I'm trying to reveal to you. That's why the reforms cannot be implemented, and they're at a complete standstill, and everything's frozen, guys, until that financial door gets opened. Now, when I say that, I'm not telling you that door has to get open before the rate can change. That door may not get open until after the rate has changed. And it may not be something we know till after the rate has physically changed. We won't know. Okay, that may catch us by surprise. But nonetheless, ultimately what I'm trying to show you is we're still in a very good position right now because Iraq is completely frozen and at a standstill. They can't progress and go any farther forward economically, especially with the reforms, until that financial door gets open. So right now we're on a week-to-week status with this investment. There's a very good chance that the rate change is going to catch us by surprise, very simply because the level of news, I'm not even saying the amount of news, it's more the level of news coming out, is most of it's at this point, guys, it's a game. The news is scripted like a soap opera. Most of it's BS. And the news is not detailed enough, okay, for us to try to guesstimate when this could be going down. So we just have to, right now we're at the point, we're in a very good position. They're still showing us that. We're in a very good window of opportunity for this where we're at right now. We just have to take it week by week and let it play out. But nonetheless, guys, we look very good, and facts show this is close to happening. Hey, you guys are the best. Take care. God bless you guys, and have a great day.